This is Edward, broadcasting live on justin.tv/EdwardStarcraft, and we're watching this game between Syn, who will be challenging our current king of the hill, Ozymandias. This is for Clan Karma, which is the Reddit Starcraft clan. And this is on the map Metalopois. See, I'm pronouncing it the correct way today. Congratulations to myself. Yep, I'm congratulating myself on my accomplishments. Look at Ozymandias' APM, 253, able to switch up that rally point like a pro. KarmaStarcraft.reddit.com. Now, Syn and his opponent Ozymandias today. Syn, oh wow, 26 APM. It's okay, you don't need much APM to start out the game. Let's watch his movements. He's very focused on the scouting probe. Okay. So, Syn with his 34 APM. That's okay. You don't need 250 APM to play this game. This game is very beginner friendly, unlike Starcraft 1 Brood War, where you needed a lot of APM just to do anything very cool. Like, I was reading this article about Brood War, about how, SCVs could repair units during battle, but no one ever did that because it was too hard to micro, and I was like, whoa, people do that in SC2 all the time. I didn't realize that SC1 was that hard, because I never played SC1. Anyways, Ozymandias here, getting harassed by these probes. That's okay though, because you can always whack the probes back in the head with your drill, with your nice drill of these SCVs. Let's see what Ozymandias is doing today on this fine day. He likes his harassment-based style, I think, seen from the last game. Take a look at Syn over here. Syn getting his second gas actually very early. Building a second gateway. Doing normal Protossy stuff. But actually, he's getting air weapons at level 1. That's going to be interesting. He's not getting his warp gate tech. He's getting air weapons level 1. Is this... I think he just made a mistake over here by accident. I'm not going to say it, but I really do think it was a mistake. He meant to do warp gate tech, and if you're using grid, sometimes it's simple to make mistakes like this. And I think Huck did this once in one of the MLG tournaments where he accidentally researched air weapons level 1 instead of warp gate technology, and that just really hurt his game. I think he lost in that game or something like that. And now Syn cutting probe production. Is he going to be making a Stargate? I don't see a Stargate just yet. And I think, no! A robotics facility! Syn getting plus air weapons. Plus air weapons. Syn. I'm so disappointed as a fellow Protoss. He's going to finish it. He's been spending all of his chrono boost on this, and he doesn't know that he's getting air weapons level 1, and he's getting a robotics facility. Oh, this hurts just to watch. 140. 144 out of 160. 149. 150. You have 5 seconds to cancel it, Syn. 4, 3, 2, 1. And it finishes! Syn getting this +1 air weapons. I know there was some sort of meme about it. And he's getting robotics bay. Does this make sense at all? He's going for a fast Colossus. Not my favorite strategy. Sure, you can do a lot with Colossi. Colossi are powerful, they're almighty and everything. Syn probably is like, warp gate! Oh shoot, gotta research that warp gate tech. Syn. Oh, okay, so Colossus, fast Colossus. On this, you guys who have watched the stream for a bit, you guys know that I don't like certain tactics, and Fast Colossus is one of the tactics that I don't like. 1. You can't make too many Colossus off of one base. 2. Colossus are very weak. They only have as many hit points as like 2 Zealots and a Sentry. Okay? So these 2 Zealots and a Sentry, that's equivalent hit points to a Colossus. Why are the hit points stuck over here? That's weird. Okay. 2 Zealots and a Sentry. Okay. That's about as many hit points as a Colossus has. You have 1 Colossus, it dies very easily. It can die very easily, especially to Sim Marines, Marauders. It can die very easily. It does a lot of damage, yes, but it dies very easily. So you need, Zealots to hold the enemy army away from your Colossus to make sure that your Colossus doesn't die. And with such a small army, Syn not doing a very good job at macro. I mean, he's not constantly building out of these gateways. Instead, he's like, oh, I have extra minerals. I don't want to make them out of the gateways since I want to wait until Warp Gate. I'm going to build an expansion as well. Very unsafe build. Getting 3 gateways, a robotics facility, a robotics base. You already don't have much of an army. But now getting an expansion. Let's take a look at the army value. And actually, Syn, with the same amount of army value as his opponent, I'm not sure if this is smart or it's just lucky. Because Ozymandias going for a fast expansion as well, and then using these bunkers to protect him. I think he was just lucky here. I don't think, he scouted enough to really say, oh, this is a safe build for me. This was extremely dangerous. Like, if Terran remained on one base, Terran could have come in and just killed him outright. I mean, this 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes into game, you have more army with a 4 gate this far into the game. I mean, this is just not very safe build for both players. I mean, Ozymandias, safer build here. I wasn't quite watching him over here, but he has 2 bunkers. Bunkers, improve the productivity of your Marines like tenfold. You have 1 Marine in there, right? It's like maybe more like eightfold. Eightfold is what I would say. And it looks like Ozymandias. Is he going for a modified Pulse timing push? Looks like he may be doing that. Okay, so the Pulse timing push is where you get a Raven, a lot of Marines, and some Banshees. And then your opponent's like, oh, I need Stalkers because, Stalkers kill air units, right? And then it's like, well, this Raven has this cool thing called a point defense drone that nullifies Stalkers, that makes the Stalkers pretty much useless. And yeah, then you just go and kill the Protoss player. It's a very powerful timing push. It looks like Ozymandias doing a variant of it, not quite doing the same thing, but it's okay. And Syn scouting this Banshee, he's like, oh, I should make Stalkers, right? Because these Colossi, they don't do that much damage. And I also have to talk about the player's macro, right? Ozymandias, not the best macro here. I saw him build up money to about like 500 or 700 earlier, and that he could be producing units constantly. He could have a much bigger army if he just constantly produced from his buildings, but he didn't. But let's take a look at this, and it looks like, wow, Syn still with a bigger army, but I don't think he has enough meat shields. He doesn't, and this timing push, with this many Banshees, with this Raven, that completely nullifies the Stalkers, that's not going to work out well for Syn. Like, Syn, oh my god. I'm not sure what to say here, because Syn currently still producing Colossi. Sure, it's good against Marines and Marauders, but there are like so few Marines and Marauders, it doesn't matter. In case you're wondering, how do I actually fend off this bush then? Because if it's so good. Because it is so good. How you fend this off is that, 1, you want to make sure the Raven uses the point defense drone before it gets to your base, so that you can just retreat. So you have to force a conflict and make it so the Terran player is like scared enough that they actually use a point defense drone, because if they don't, then maybe their army will die. So then they'll use it. And then the second is that you get Phoenixes. Phoenixes do bonus damage from Ravens. Phoenix do bonus damage to Banshees. And Phoenixes, since they fire 2 shots every shot, then they'll also deplete the energy of the point defense drone very quickly. Also you can get, what are they called? You can get Sentries. Sentries will kill the point defense drone. They're one of the ranged attacks that don't get blocked by the point defense drone of the Raven. Okay, so it looks like now Syn getting a second expansion and just massing these Colossi. These Colossi, I think it will take them one swipe total to take out this many Marines of Marauders. Okay, maybe like 2 or 3, right? But basically, they'll kill this instantly, but what they'll die to are the Banshees. Ozymandias now with how many Banshees? 12 Banshees. A fully charged Raven. He could even get a second Raven if he wanted. He should have if he wasn't planning on attacking this soon. Because, you know, if he had a second Raven, that would allow him to block more Stalker shots. But it looks like the Terran Air Fleet is moving in. And these army values are fairly even. But I don't think... I mean, these Banshees outnumber the number of Stalkers there are for Syn. Syn, not quite the best unit composition. Sure, I know they say macro your way up to Diamond. But Colossi don't do that much damage again. Okay, he does have 3 High Templars. The High Templars, if he can hit that Raven first, it has a good chance. And he can take down a few Banshees with his High Templars. Still, I don't think it won't be enough. And now point defense drone going down. Oh, High Templars getting this point defense drone, actually making the Stalkers useful. But yeah, all of the ground army is taken down. These Banshees are cloaked. It doesn't quite matter since there is an observer. But just not enough anti-air for both us here. And you can see here, you know, Ozymandias with a much bigger army count than his opponent. And you can see this point defense drone again doing wonders here. And taking down the Templar Archives. The Templar Archives really the last hope for Syn to feed back all of these. And now these Banshees. I mean, wow, how often do you see mass Banshees in Diamond play? I'm going to say not very often at all. Because, you know, usually you see it in bronze level play. So like, oh yeah, I'll be tricky and mass Banshees, right? But no, like here, we see mass Banshees with that Raven in this diamond level play, and it's actually working pretty well for Ozymandias. He has this many Banshees. His opponent didn't scout very well. He let that point defense drone get up, and you know, this basically, as he said, nullifies Stalkers. It nullifies Stalkers like no other opponent as well. Now taking out the Forge, the only other form of detection will be this robotics facility. I don't think the robotics facility is his biggest concern, however, but I mean, yeah, just all of these pylons going down for Syn. Let's take a look at Syn's new base over here. Syn massing some High Templars and getting a lot of cannons, storming these Banshees, doing quite a bit of damage. I think these Banshees need to retreat. They need to get repaired. This is going to definitely hold off the attack for a while, but now Ozymandias getting expansions over here. 2 more expansions. I'm macroing out like crazy. Let's take a look at some of the statistics, see where everything is at. You can see Syn losing quite a bit more resources than Ozymandias. Ozymandias currently at higher income than his opponent Syn. He could even move these guys off to his 3rd or 4th base to get even higher income. And then let's take a look. More Banshees in production. Bigger army value for Ozymandias. I'm not sure how Syn is going to handle this. I mean, he does have a few High Templars, and I think if these Banshees just use up Cloak, to use up all of their energy, then these Banshees will be perfectly fine. And now a fully repaired Banshees. Yeah, they just need to use up Cloak so that Syn cannot feed back them. Another engagement, taking down 1 Banshee, perhaps taking down second Banshee. Ozymandias needs to be pulling back forward.